I'm Jean Shearhart from the Santa Rosa East Club. And when I and my husband were traveling in Africa several years ago, we made up at the Livingston, Zambia Club. And I met Paula Winland, and we've communicated since. Paula is from the Livingston Club. She lives about an hour and a half outside of Livingston in a little town called Wandi. And she's been very instrumental in getting huts built. First of all, for the AIDS orphans. And now she's working on getting huts built for teachers, because the school there it's considered a poor area of Zambia, and she'll explain more about it. But the living conditions for the teachers who are used to living in cities, they don't know what's happened here. Oh, okay. They're not used to living in the huts in the primitive area that the rest of the people in Wandi live in. And they can't keep the teachers. So she'll explain more. This is Paula Winland.
Thank you, Jean. Jean's been just wonderful this whole Northern California run of mine. I'm Paula, as I said. And the object of this coming here, how do I make this thing move? Oh, she's got
It's up there.
This little button right here will move to the next slide, which will move back closer too far.
I'm not, I live in the bush, that's my LA school. Okay, the object, what we're, okay, let me start from the beginning and show you where we are. Okay, it's not working. Oh, okay, it's not working on here, right? That's Africa, and we're down there in Zambia. You can see, and so we're in a non-conflict zone. It's very peaceful, very poor country, but very peaceful. And where the Ebola and all this stuff, it's really horrible. It's all happening way up there in Sierra Leone and all that. We have a very peaceful society. There's 73 tribes and sub-tribes, but everybody gets along. We have no tribalism. We have no crime, very little crime. And then where I live, Wandi really doesn't have a dot on the map, but we put it on there. The girls who did the presentation put us a dot. So that's approximately where Wandi is.
One more little trick here. This button is a pointer.
Oh.
That's the white one.
Okay, the light.
Yeah.
That one. That one. Okay.
That's the one.
Right, there we are. Okay, and Livingston, the choice capital's there. So we're not very far from Livingston. And Wandi is a desirable place to live. It's got nice people, it's on the river, it's got a tarred road to it, it's no crime, no smog, no, everything's good, except for the housing situation. Now the huts, when I first got there, we were building huts for the AIDS orphans and their elderly caregivers. And Jean's Club was a big help to us when we didn't have any money to build, because we started this from the beginning and we had no, I was in mortgage, I have no marketing skills whatsoever. And we hooked up with a couple volunteer organizations, and it was sporadic, and it was this and it was that, and sometimes I didn't know how I was going to pay the staff, and you can't just let staff up. And since gradually word of mouth, and we got hooked up with big organizations that bring a lot of kids in. My kids, I have 14 to 16-year-old kids, and they bring me the money to build a hut for the AIDS orphans. They build a hut with the family, so it's really taken off. It's become a community project, and so now we're pretty secure in that. We're still building the huts, but then we started we've had several Rotarians come out to see us and stay and work and all that, and they have wanted to, along with some people that are, a bit older than 16, who were professionals in this and that, and they wanted to sponsor kids through high school. So we said, oh, that's a great idea. And so we got us some kids, and the first batch, and then now we've continued, but now we have found out, because we screen them very carefully, because of course I have an obligation to the donors to give them children who are going to pass 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, because it's expensive to go to high school. You can go up to 9th grade, 8th and 9th grade, you pay about $15 a term. So that's within most everybody's reach, even in one. If they can't pay it, they don't charge them until 9th grade. So the problem was, we're getting these children coming to my gate wanting sponsorship till 10th grade. Okay, I'm looking at their grades and they have passed nothing and they can't, all they can say to me is, "Good morning, how are you?" And that's it. And I'm saying, you know, and I have a tutor that teaches, I have an English tutor and a math tutor who teach the children, the 14 that we do have in high school. Now, they, because without that special tutoring, we'd never get through with passing grades and everything. So I was getting really frustrated, and I decided I'm going to the school and find out what's going on, why there are no 9th graders, or just a handful that are coming out of 9th grade that even have barely passed, but they passed, but are lacking in English, lacking in math, and without English and math, you guys all know you're educated people. You have children who have gone to school. You must have, and especially in Zambia, we must have English-speaking people, because English is the official language. They can't even leave the village to go to Livingston to get a job if they can't speak and understand and read and write English. They're stuck in Wandi the rest of their life. So I went to the school and I got on my high horse and a little foot stomping. Why aren't these kids getting grades that, you know, your teachers, what's happening? What's wrong with your teachers? They said, "Fine, Paula, you're now on the board." Okay. So I'm on the board of the high school, I'm on the board of the basic school. Our basic school is what we call basic school. It goes through grades 1 through 9. Now, in Zambia, the law is, if you come out of teaching school, teaching college, you must teach at a rural school for 2 years before you are allowed to go off and get a job at somewhere else. Okay, well, of course, Wandi, they give them 3 choices, and Wandi's at the bottom of everybody's list. The government comes out with a big sheet, and then they go to the kids' hall, and it comes out in the newspaper and all this stuff. Because, of course, we don't have the internet stuff like you have. We have internet, but it's not, you know, it's not like it is here. So the kids go, and of course, Wandi is always the last one to be picked, because Wandi is known that if you go to teach in Wandi, you're going to either live in, I'll show you the off-site accommodation. You're either going to live in an off-site, falling down, horrible place, or, and they have no toilets, no showers, no kitchens, no anything. Or you're going to live in a mud hut. Now the mud huts are fine for the locals, because we put metal roof sheeting on and everything. They last 15 years. They are used to living in a mud hut. The locals, the teachers, however, are not. So we have a turnover of from 12 to 19 teachers every year leaving. We have 5 teachers that stay. We have 34 teachers total for 1,527 children. We are in desperate need for 11 more. We can't even keep the 34 we've got, let alone get 11 more. They're not coming. So the whole issue came down to housing. It wasn't the school, it wasn't the location, it was housing. We have no place to live. When our 2 years contract is up, we're gone. So they never become part of the community. They never become long-term teachers long enough for the kids to even get to know them, and they're not there. The school period starts in January in Zambia. So of course in December or the end of November, when the turnover is happening, whether it be 12 or 19, or some years it's whatever, you know, every 2 years. So we won't get those teachers replaced until like late February or early March, and in April they get a month off. So our kids have already gone through 2 months of non-schooling, and then at the end of the teachers' contracts, around November-ish, they'll start, when they should be there because it's their exam time, they'll start telling the school, well, I've got a funeral, I've got a this, I've got a that, I've got a whatever. And they really have nothing, but they're going out to look for new jobs. they're putting in applications because they know they're leaving. So it has a twofold effect. It has an effect on our literacy, and it has an effect on our community development. Now, it's not that the children don't want to learn. They do. They sit in class day after day after day after day, and there's no one there. We also cannot do any kind of this high-tech stuff. There are no computers in the school. We can't do long-distance learning. We can't do, there's no school books either. So the teacher has the school book, and he puts the things on the board, and the kids, it's not like here where every child has a school book. I had trouble finding school books for the kids we tutored. I mean, it's difficult. You have to special order, but what, of course, our school doesn't have them. They might have a couple and they'll give to like one group of kids to share. So they can't even take that book home to study. They can't study on their own because they can't take the book out of the school. So they need a real human being, a real teacher who is happy, who has their family living with them, because most of the teachers' families cannot live with them because of the living conditions that they're forced to live in. So their kids are living in Lasaka, the Copper Belt, Livingston, somewhere else with family. So the teachers are naturally very miserable. They're not productive. They come when they want to come. We have some walking 2 to 6 kilometers to school to teach one day, and we have sand. It's not like we have sand. No street paved or anything like that. So our problem is most of the children in Wani can only get a 9th grade education because there is no money for them to go on. I mean, there's people like us who do sponsor kids, but I can only handle so many, and I only have so many donors, and because I keep such intricate details of everything I do, and I do all the bookkeeping, I can't handle more really than 14 at a time, even if I have the donors to do so. So if all the education our children are going to get in this 9th grade, it's just imperative for this community and this group, this whole generation and the next generation and the next one, to get an education that will allow them to speak English and to get a job at least as a storekeeper so that they can learn money, so that they can send their kids on to school, onto high school. It's a rippling effect, you know? I mean, you all know that. Without education, you've got nothing. You've got a bunch of illiterate people being subsistence farmers for generations. And I live there and it breaks my heart because they're beautiful people. They want to learn. We can't get teachers. They won't stay. And it's just, it's a horrible situation. And every child deserves a chance, as far as I'm concerned. So let me go on. There's Monty, and there's the school where the proposed school is, the teachers' housing. Now, we have reworked this, and I've been talking to Rotary clubs, and we've come up with the idea that we can do a matching grant, a global grant for part of this, because I can put the toilets in, because I can put toilets for the schools. So I can put the toilets in on a global grant, which I'm going to get with my grant manager for our district as soon as I get back to my daughters. So the proposal that I've given your president is going to be, of course, revised and all that, because we can, I know, get a global grant for the toilets and the showers. So that will decrease what we need to build these houses by a lot. So that is now the new plan. And it took me coming to America to get good American heads together, good American brains, and good American know-how to get this into my mind, because I'm thinking teachers' housing, no way, global grant. Bathrooms, global grant. Aha. So these are the bathrooms that the teachers are currently using. And I didn't candy coat it, and I don't know how to Photoshop. So these are their conditions. And if
Is
they
there a
want
way
to
of
take
turning the lights down a little bit so that the picture shows up better?
yeah, they're not even an outhouse. They're a hole in the ground. And if they shower, they have to do the same thing. They get a bucket of water and come. That's another one. These are actually the toilets. I'm not joking. I didn't go out and put these up to make show you. These are their kitchens. These things, where's that little button now? That's like, oh, not very good, but see these things on the walls, those are hornets, wasp nests. And they do come out and they do sting. This again this is our math teacher, our one math teacher, I might say. That's his kitchen. And he only stays because he's from Wandi. The ones that stay are from Wandi, that's a wasp nest up close and personal. And you can see the wasp has left his nest. So that is the whole size of the kitchens. That's it. That's it. There's no running water. There is electricity, but you can see the electricity, the wires coming in on the black cables because electricity, these were built in the late 60s right after independence. So of course there was no electricity in Wandi in those days. So the electricity came in late, much later. The teachers do what they can. That's another house where he just plugs his wires into the wall. And that is the kitchen. These, as you notice, there is no, we call them ceiling boards, but it's the things that you guys have on top of all of your roofs that provide insulation so that you don't either die in this winter or die in the summer. They get very hot. They all leak, of course, goes without saying. There's another kitchen with his wires that he plugs into whatever. This is that going outside the kitchen door. I just like the picture because they re-cemented it so many times it looked like glass almost. And these are their bedrooms. They're so small that they can't really shut the doors. There are no closets in these houses at all. No closets, no cupboards, no kitchen. Well, you saw the kitchen. This is where they sleep. And these are teachers. They're not local whatevers. They are, I would rather live in a tent. I'm not kidding, I wouldn't live here. I'll quickly go through, I mean, you can tell the conditions. They get ants, the ant trails are going up. The ants, we have termites in Africa are like, yes, they will eat your house. And then I will show you how they'll eat your house. This is the doors. This is Mr. Manamola's closet. I asked him, Mr. Manamola, what do you do with the clothes? He says, well, what do you want me to do with them? I have no place to put them. He's lived in a suitcase for the last 10 years. And so as his kids, and that's his bedroom. I often wonder how long until they catch on fire. Luckily they're cement, but that can still burn. That's his wall. I mean, they try. But, and this is his children's room. Again, they've got no roof sheets, so you wouldn't believe how hot those metal roof sheets get in the summertime. We have a long summer season. And there again, you can see the ant trails up the walls. That's the bedroom. That's the electric socket. This is the wood that's being rotten, and that's the ant trails. They go right up the walls and just munch away. This is I love the door. That's why I put the door in there. I think that really says a lot. There's a door there. Now that piece of wood up there on the right, well, I've got a close-up of that. That beam is holding his roof up. And that's how much the termites have ate of it. And they're munching their way on. Here's their living area, and there's a big wasp nest up in the corner. So they do come in with a bag of cement and some sand, and they do try to repair some of it to keep the bugs out, and the wasps out, and the ants out, but it's impossible when you've got this much damage. This is a wasp nest coming out of his light fixtures. And this is as big as the living area is. You can see where his freezer is. The freezers are set so they can freeze, or they can partly freeze, or they can be a refrigerator. So they have to use those tight because they can't really have two appliances in there because there's no room in the house for two appliances. That is as large as it is. The left-hand side, you can see the wall. The right-hand side, you can see at the wall. And I'm standing at the front door. That is as large as his living room is. And this is the roof. Now, that wood, I've got a close-up of that wood. As you can see, the termites have had a field day. They've had a little picnic up there, and they have eaten almost the entire section of the major structure that's holding his roof up. When that goes completely, the roof will come down because it'll only be sitting on that one. It will come down. There is a close-up of our famous African termites, or ants as we call them. And there's just tons of them. You scrape them off, they come back next. Within a day or two, they're back. These are the floors, and this is also a huge problem because, of course, the insects and all the goodies that we have in Africa come up through those. That's his kitchen floor. Here's the exterior, and I'll quickly go through this because you can tell. I mean, I don't really have to explain the condition. And this is how they get their water. All these houses, there's 5 of them, that's where they get their water, and that's how they get it. And they take it, they carry it to their house, and they boil it, and they use it for their bathing, their everything. They're washing their clothes, whatever you need water for. That's how they get it. They do try to keep it in shape. They tie things up, but as you can see, they leaks. And these are all exterior shots of the building, which we were going to try to restore these, and we went, you've got to be kidding me. There is no restoring them. They have to be torn down. I just like this picture because they had to put up their own exterior lights, and Mr. Manimola is a math teacher. He's not a, well, that's what he put up. But I thought he did a very good job for being a math teacher. And here is the exteriors. And of course, you can see where they've tried to patch to keep the ants from climbing up and in their walls, but very unsuccessfully. They're old houses. There again, they try. They do try. And if you don't live in one of those, you can either live in a hut, a mud hut in a village, or you can live here. And this is one of the teachers that again stays, because she's from here, a wonderful woman. And there is now, don't be deceived, that shower does not work. That's why she's got all her pots in there, her buckets, because at least they have a place where they can stand and take a shower. The drain does drain, but the shower does not work. And that's her electric power. That is her stove, where she must cook. I don't know how she fits in there, but anyway, she manages. And that's the back of her house. The front of it's not in much better condition, but they, of course, have lost a whole room. And then we're to charge them to live there. And this is the land where we are going to put. Now, what makes it good is the high school. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay, well, the high school is way over there. Now, when they built the high school, they trusted it, and they did build teachers' housing for the high school. But they will not do anything more for us. They will not build any teachers' housing. We've tried everything. The government, forget it. The famous saying in Africa, money got finished. So money has got finished. And so we have a huge area. The basic school is coming towards you guys. So where we're putting the houses is in between the high school and the basic school. So perfect for global grant toilets. I can put the toilets up first. Finish the grant, add the houses. And that's just right now. For ground clearing and all that, we will be using the students from the school. Free labor. It's not child labor, you guys. That's what they do. The kids give back for what they're going to receive. And they know they're going to receive teachers. They will get in there with shovels and spades and they will clear that land. And these are very simple plans. Now, we are making changes to this because since we don't need all these doors, but just to give you an example, they are being redrawn. But they will have 3 bedrooms. They will have closets. They will have cupboards over the kitchen, and there's a door there that will come out. But basically, that's what you've got. You've got a 3-bedroom house with a toilet and a shower next to each other that have doors. And that is one reason why it's going to be so easy to do the global grant.
Will it be possible to build it with metal framing instead of the wood?
No, you can't. We have to, everything will be brick. We only can build with brick there because brick keeps the roaches out, keeps the bugs out. Metal framing, they did that with the church. They had to bring it out, you don't want to know. It costs about 10 times more than if we would have put a regular roof like we do our roof structures with wood, treated wood. It costs about thousands and thousands of dollars more because we can get the wood in easy, but you've got to go to Livingston. It's a mess. We don't have the generators to run the welders. So then you got to buy a generator to run the welder. You got to buy the welder. So we have to build with what we have and what we build with there. So, there you go. The doors and everything will be metal, and the window frames will be metal, and the door frames throughout the house will be metal. But the building itself has to be cement block because that's what we build with, because it lasts, it's cool in the summer, cool in the winter, cool in the summer, warm in the winter, keeps the bugs out, we'll put roof sheets in for them. They'll have a place where they'll be happy, productive teachers, which they will have, community development and everything that goes with it. So I'm just trying to get enough, Rotary clubs together that if there's any money left over from whatever, we can use any dime you got. It's going on the RI website, it's on my website, and I'll give the president my, did I give you my card? I think I did. So he's got my card. The project itself is already on my website. It's going on the RI website at the end of the month, and it will be on my website, so any donors can, everything's going through my Rotary Club. It's not coming to me, I want to do nothing with the money. I'm on site to see that it's done properly. But all the money will be done through Rotary.
I forgot to mention that Paula has been secretary of her club for 2 different years, and she was president last year, and now she's...
Now they bumped me up to head of international projects, they must have rockets in my hair.
We're a little short on time. Perhaps you can stay a little later for people who have questions.
Could you talk about the shirts?
Yeah, the shirts are from, we had, this has been going on since 2008, I believe, but we took a group of women off, we had got an extra grant for the shirt project years ago, now it's self-sustaining. So the shirts are made by the first group that we put through school. Now what we do is we take them to conventions and we sell them. That money goes back into making new shirts with the women who get paid to make them, then they get a percentage, Rotary gets their cut, the women get a percentage, we use the rest of it to put the new group of students to tailoring school, and we give them a sewing machine at the end. So we take the sex workers off the street, it's done with the Catholic Church, and the Catholic nuns go out and they find these ones who are interested in getting out of the sex trade. So they make the shirts, we provide the training, we pay for the training and the sewing machines, and they then can send their kids through school. We're doing a microfinancing with the first 2 groups that we've done now to supply them.
If you wouldn't mind drawing one of the cards.
Okay, where's my tickets? What's my number? Last 4 digits. 1204.
Got it.
Hey!
That's your camp play.
Oh!
Okay, so 1204.
1204. I mean, I know I'm getting old, but.
Okay.
Actually, I did get it.
Wait a minute, is it one of mine?
Wait.
You did
You
get
did
it?
it.
Lottery brought to get it.
We brought the gift.
President wants something to like.
Give it to Scott.
Thank you very much.
So we appreciate you coming today.
Thank you. And you carry for me, don't worry, I've got ready daddies. And
Oh, excellent.
I would like to give you a Livingston Rotary. Yeah?
And I will get one for you on my club.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
So, thank you all for having me.
I think you met Michael Cook.
I did.
He does a lot of our international stuff too.
He's got his shirt on.
He's got the shirt on. So,
Yay!
and we can do something there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a multi, UK Charity is also working on it, so it's not just me.
Oh, anniversary, right?
You lucked out.
And he wouldn't take money, so I'm gonna.
Oh, well, see there, all good deeds. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Oh, joke. Oh, you have the joke.
So, Joe Gensley,
All right, here, where's the mic?
I hear you have a joke.
I do. Some of you may have heard it, 'cause I only know like one
Guy
joke,
over there.
but I'm gonna, it might be, I'm gonna tell, a Polish joke. Tess, can I get away with this? Two Polish pilots coming in for a landing. Boom, they hit the tarmac crash, boom, they're in the weeds of the license. One turns to the other and says, "Why? That was a short runway." The other one says, "Yeah, but it was really wide."
Wow. More from Joe.
All right, everybody, here we go. Trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
So I'm walking tonight to Santa Rosa with Linda. I can probably do that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it depends. I don't know. I mean, I live in Santa Rosa, so I don't know. Where you going to walk?
Well, I meet her at an office because she's got 2 weeks. So when was her office room? Oh.